And we are live. Hey, folks, Mobile Geezer back at you with our usual Friday Night Tech Talk. We've got Will here, as always, Mr. Excitement.
What's going on, George?
And Mike, Simply Your Device, he will be along, I hope, in a few minutes. I gather he's taking care of some little household problem like all of us homeowners have to deal with.
Yeah, got the weather spiked here, George. So
well, we got Tony Pazzo in here already. Hello, Tony. How are you? I'm not seeing me live though for some reason.
It says we're live on.
Yeah, I know we're live. I'm just trying to bring it up on my. Let's see if I can. Okay, there I go. Yeah, Tony is the first one in here. What a guy. Cleveland is on it, Jack. Okay, there I go. Okay. Well, I'm hearing, I guess I was hearing a speaker from you, right, Will?
Was it? It's gone now, right?
Just for a second. Yeah, just for a second.
Yeah, because I went on the page to see the YouTube. You can still see me, right?
Yes, and that's what I'm doing, the same thing. All right, folks. Sorry, the usual technical difficulties getting everything together. But anyway, right now it's just Will and I, and Mike should be along anytime soon. Anyway, we'll try to get started here. And the first thing that I had down for tonight, I wasn't sure if people are sick to death of hearing about the Sprint T-Mobile merger or not. So I said, well, if you guys want to talk about Sprint T-Mobile, you'll feel free. Hey, Alan's in here too. Hey, Alan, phone tech at work. And yeah, I see your stream is starting at 10 o'clock. Back to your normal time. That's a good thing. So, Will, you have anything else, anything left that you want to say about Sprint T-Mobile?
Nah, well, I mean, I won't really be affected by it.
Yeah, it's definitely going to affect Mike and I because we're both T-Mobile customers.
And Mike has directly, I guess, until they start raising the prices or whatever.
Well, let's hope that doesn't happen.
One less carrier, but
that's where I'm hoping Jay Will was right, that everything is going to get better. And better does not mean raising prices.
Yeah, but I could, they're going to be able to do it now because one less option. Even though Sprint wasn't a good one, but
you got a point there. But my worry is about people and their jobs, because every time companies merge like this, they can say all they want about people not losing jobs. Nobody's going to want double the amount of people. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, there's gonna be some job cuts. You know.
And I've been in companies where companies got taken over, and it was like, oh yes, we're going to leave everything alone. Next thing you know, they're trying to get you to move someplace else or just leave altogether, one or the other. So for me, I'm just on a wait and see basis because I'm not sure how I feel about it.
Yeah, we'll see. I guess that's what everybody's doing, waiting and seeing.
Yeah, Al says T-Mobile making moves to take that top spot. I hope they do. I mean, of the four carriers, I love T-Mobile. I've been with them 4 years. I have nothing but good things to say about them so far, and I was with Sprint 16 years before that. Once I started YouTube, and I knew I had to go to GSM, so I chose T-Mobile, and I've been happy with it ever since.
Right now, Verizon's number one, right?
Yeah, and they've been number one for a very long time.
Yeah.
So we'll see what comes of it. So the only, the same old thing in the news, Huawei ZTE, they're still this week, the military totally banned anybody in the military from buying any products from Huawei and ZTE. Now, ZTE is under their 7-year ban. Huawei, as far as I know, has not been banned from using US
They weren't
products.
banned, but the carriers aren't dealing with them, and Best Buy come out the store.
Right, and the AT&T deal fell through on last day.
Struggle.
But still, that's not as bad as being told you can't buy anything from a U.S. Supplier. That's killing right there. So
yeah.
But I didn't want to hammer that to death. I just wanted to give that little update about the military not buying anything from either one of them.
Yeah.
So we'll see if going forward, Huawei is able to hang on and sell anything, or if they just stop everything completely.
Did you catch the Mike's podcast on Wednesday? His stream?
Yeah, most of it.
Yeah.
So Jay Will seems pretty positive about the merger. So I hope he's right.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. And then of course this week.
You see what is that coming? The U12. U12 is
the HTC U12 is coming on May 23rd. Now, for my money, if it's anywhere near as good as the HTC U11, because like a lot of other people, I chose this phone as my phone of the year. Yeah. And I know a couple of subscribers buy it based on my recommendation. They absolutely love the thing. So I'm hoping they up their game with the U12.
Yeah.
Whether or not I get it, it's probably down the line a month or two, because I'm trying to buy less expensive phones this year other than the Galaxy S9. And I've got to space things out a little bit.
Yeah, I hear you.
But I would think a lot of people would be excited for it, because a lot of us YouTubers love the HTC U11. So you never had that, did you?
No, I never had it. I almost got it, but the price was too much. And then they came out. What was that one? The one Jay Will was talking about on Wednesday. The Ultra.
Oh, the Ultra came out before the U11
did. Yeah, that one. Then that one, didn't get too favorable reviews.
Well, see, Jay Will liked it. I think Donovan liked it. Maybe Grant and maybe Reggie. But most of the big YouTubers, they slammed the Ultra to death.
I mean, I didn't have it, but seeing like the reviews from some people, I know what's his name came out and said it was like a waste of space. And I mean, seeing from what his perspective of on the phone, I kind of agree with him, because if the phone was as thick as they said it was, they have a small battery. It didn't talking
about MKBHD or who?
Yeah. It didn't have dual speakers, right? I'm trying to remember.
And I've rarely seen MKBHD give a thumbs down, but he gave a definite thumbs down on that one.
I mean, he just said he couldn't recommend it, and I mean, based on that, I really can't blame him, because if you come out with that and then come out with the U11, it wasn't too much longer, right? It was only a couple months.
Yeah. And the U11, fantastic phone.
It was like they were just using the bodies of the phone they had and putting whatever in it, because how could you?
Will, of course, will tell you both phones were great. So
how could you make a phone that thick and not put a bigger battery? Like, you're not getting nothing for the extra thickness. It was kind of.
So I never bought it because of all the other things people that know more about it than I were saying. Now, of course, Jay said at the level that some of them are at, that they were probably told to say, who knows,
Yeah, but what did that phone come out at? What was the price of that phone when it came out?
It was expensive. I don't remember. It seems to me it was like $750.
So when did that come out?
As far as I remember, it came out in February of last year, and I think the HTC U11 came out in April.
If that came out in February, wow! It came out in February. The next one came out in April. That's crazy.
Or May. It could have been May. The other one. 2 or 3 months.
That's crazy, but because the prices were just about the same. I'm just thinking, what was the competition for that phone? And I mean, at the price point, I wouldn't have really recommended it either. Not at that price. If it was $5 something,
yeah,
like a OnePlus, but to go to $7, and because I'm guessing the Galaxy must have been out. The LG G6 maybe.
The G6 came out in April, because I bought that as soon as it came out.
Like it was competing with some top end phones. I don't know which iPhone they were on when that was out.
I'm trying to look it up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think the price point. I think that's always HTC's downfall to me. their price point is too high.
Yeah, I kind of agree, but
Yeah, see,
I said with the
750.
yeah, and I said with the U11, I thought it was worth every cent, and I still do. You know, I'm trying
And then
to find. Go ahead.
and then they were talking about on Wednesday too the Essential phone. Oh my God, they were saying that the Essential phone was a good buy, and saying, what did they say? I think Mike said that people were reviewing it after the price cut. To me, that only made sense because the phone came out at almost $800, and from what everybody said, the camera wasn't good.
Right.
So to come out at $800, I wouldn't have recommended the phone either.
What I
Now for
kept doing,
500,
yeah,
it makes sense to go back and re-review it and say it's worth it for 5, not
right.
for 8. You
And
know what I mean? Now,
that's what
like
Jay Will and a bunch of the others said. It was worth it for $500. Now, what I kept doing, I kept watching people's videos about it, and I especially kept watching their videos on the cameras. Well, for me, the cameras never got good enough for me to spend $500. That's just
yeah, see,
from what I saw.
I don't understand how they say it's a. Everybody kept saying it was a good phone. Like the material they made to use, they used to make the phone was great, but
Oh yeah, it was awesome.
for $800 to me, with a camera that bad and the glitchiness and the whole thing with the credit card issue and all that was going on, that kind of made me not buy it because I was about to buy it, and then
I had ordered it and canceled it.
And that was before I seen any reviews. And then the reviews came out, and everybody said the camera was glitchy. You would take a picture, and it wouldn't save the picture, and all you had like a whole bunch of,
Exactly.
So I was like, forget it, like it's not worth it. And now at $500, I mean, to be honest, I would rather go buy a OnePlus.
The last videos that I watched on that were probably 2-3 months ago because everybody kept praising them for the updates, and you got to give them credit. They kept giving the updates to make it better, especially the camera. But every time I saw the camera again, yes, it was better. I never saw it get to where I would spend $500 for it. Now, of course, Jay Will is right, and a lot of others, that if you don't have it in hand, you don't really know. But based on what I was seeing, I wasn't spending $500 on it.
Yeah, but that's like we were saying last week. If I had a choice between the Essential phone and last year's flagship, which would have been, let's say, the Galaxy S8,
S8, yeah,
get now for close to 5 something,
yeah,
I would go.
That's an easy choice.
Yeah, I would go with that over the Essential phone. I would go with the OnePlus 5 or 5T over the Essential phone because I don't know. Essential just had a lot of too many issues, and it was too many. To me, it wasn't just the big YouTubers complaining about the camera. I've seen people who didn't have a channel at all, really. To 100 subscribers, 50, they would come on and make their reviews, and they were like, the camera's terrible.
Okay. So Alan had said January, February when the Ultra came out. I just looked it up. It looked like it came out in March. And he said something about the G6. And Anthony, my Project 13A, Anthony, he said he sold his U11 to a co-worker. He just stopped using it because outside of his new devices, he always uses his old school devices. And he does that. He always brings the ones he loves back. That's true.
The U11, that had capacitive buttons, right?
Yes.
Yeah, see, I don't want to. I don't like. I
don't mind capacitive buttons at all. And Anthony, my Project 13 said just like the Razr phone, definitely good, but not flagship good. And he has the Razr phone.
See that's what built the Essential for me. $800 to come out, and to me, there's no way that was with the camera problems and all that. There was no way it was worth.
I completely agree. Agree. So I'm kind of excited for the U12, but my money is not going to allow me to get it. Not this month, probably not next month, maybe July, we'll see. This month, I'm concentrating on the motos, but the best moto of the G6s was the Plus. well, that's not coming here. But I looked up the bands today. It looks to me like it has all the T-Mobile bands. So
okay, so you still
I'm still going to get that because the G6 is less than the Plus, and the G6 Play is less than both of them now. So, and those are the two that are coming to America. Well, I want the better phone as long as it'll work on T-Mobile. So that's my plan at the moment.
Yeah, I hear you.
Of course, if you want to send me some money, you feel free.
Yeah, of course, George. Of course, no problem.
And the other thing this week, I don't know if you're sick of it, but of course, like the other big phones, the LG G7 10Q, you cannot escape it. Every place you turn.
Okay, the reviews for the phone are out, and I think I put a couple quotes and stuff people from on Twitter, and the people were just like, if you didn't buy the V30, this phone isn't going to do nothing to make you want to go buy it. And from what I saw, I don't know how accurate the prices were. It's going to be almost $900.
That's what I saw somewhere too. Now, of course, they haven't officially announced the price yet, but that's what it's sounding like.
So that means if LG prices it at $9, AT&T is going to have it at like $939.
Oh yeah.
No, AT&T's not even having it. My fault. AT&T's not even having that one.
Oh, okay.
They posted out the article. There was an article.
Oh, that's right. They're getting the 35. AT&T is getting the 35.
So yeah, I couldn't spend that on an LG phone. No way.
Well, I can't spend it because I have the V30 and I love the V30. To me, it kind of seems like an updated V30. You know.
See, I told you there was I don't know if you've seen it. I don't know if I posted it in the thing or if I sent it to Mike. There was a link, a comment from a user, and he said he was like, he bought the G6, I think the G6, and he was like, the battery was terrible. And I was like,
had the same issue, and I didn't have any of that.
I guess I must have sent it to Mike. I said, I knew I wasn't crazy because the person was like, their phone would just die on like just doing nothing, and that's how mine was, and I had two of them, so I couldn't.
And I guess that's true of any phone. You're going to get a small group of people that have the same issue. My G6, I never had an issue with it. Still don't. You know, I still love the phone, and of course, I think I love the V30 even more, despite the front camera not being as good. But I'm not going to spend no $900 for the LG G7 10Q.
I'll wait for.
Now, I do respect the Jaime Rivera from Pocket Now, and in two different of his daily videos, he said he was surprised at how good it was, or something to that effect. So since I respect his opinion, well, maybe it's pretty good, but I still say, since I have the V30, I don't see any reasons for me to go out and buy the G7 10Q.
Yeah, I'm looking at the comments here. My Project 13 said there are people out there who don't want all that crap on their smartphones and basically want to run stock Android, so they're willing to sacrifice for that price.
And that makes sense. Sense.
Well, see, that's why I keep a Pixel, because I do like the stock.
And that's why I like my Motos.
Yeah.
So they're much cheaper,
I just wish. I guess I can't say I wish. Supposedly it's coming to Android P. Like some of the features from the other phones that I think should be in stock. Like
Deborah Duke says she likes the Moto also.
Yeah.
I'm looking at my Project 13. He said there were too many reviewers misreviewing those devices, and he's right. I mean, a lot of the big timers, they don't even bother with those, and I agree with him and with Jay Will. They should be reviewing those phones. They should be reviewing the Motos.
Yeah.
There's a lot of the big guys, they don't even look at them.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they look at the flagships because that's what's selling if you walk into the store.
Yeah.
Because Moto doesn't. You can't get a Motorola and AT&T, I don't think, or.
Yeah, I just buy mine straight from Amazon. But while I bought my Moto E4 in Walmart when it was $40, And it was a Verizon model that I bought at $2,025 unlock code, and I was good to go.
Yeah. Didn't have issues with my G6. Sold that to a coworker as well. I'm still doing great. Man, my G6, the battery, I tried two of them. I tried an unlocked one and I tried an AT&T.
Yeah, I remember that.
The brightness down and it would just die. Like I couldn't get through 12 hours at work without the phone being just about dead.
Yeah, that's miserable. That's totally unacceptable.
It drove me crazy. I loved the camera and the software didn't kill it for me. Like I didn't mind the software. You know, I was actually getting used to it.
Right. Like I said, mine has been great from day one, still is. And same with my V30. So, and then one more. I gathered this week, though months ago, was it HMD that makes the Nokia phones now? They said the Nokia 6 was not coming to the U.S. Well, I gather this week they changed their mind.
Okay. Well, you know, I bet you they probably see all the things going on with Huawei and
that could be.
And they probably like, we got a chance to squeeze in, you know.
Yeah, because the Nokia 6 would fit right in that Huawei ZTE, you know, lower budget phone level.
Yeah. And everybody knows the Nokia name, so.
Yeah, exactly. And they got a lot of, you know, good reviews on the Nokia stuff they released yesterday, the Nokia 8 and all the phones, I think. And so I was excited to see them bring it to the U.S. Now, I did look at the specs yesterday, and I saw 3 gigabytes of RAM. That's the only thing that makes me hesitate, because I have the Sony Xperia XA2, not the Ultra. And the XA2 has 3 gigabytes of RAM. Well, it stutters a bit. It's a good phone, it's a good camera, but it stutters a bit.
Now wait, you said for the Nokia, right? Isn't Nokia just about stock?
I believe so. I haven't had one.
Sony's got a skin on it, right?
Yes,
like
but still, 3 gigabytes of RAM makes me that wouldn't bother you for 3 gig rather than 4 gig. 4 gig, I think, is smooth. What do you think about 3 gig?
3 gigs, I don't think will bother me. I don't know. I guess because I'm used to I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think it'll bother me. If the skin isn't too bad, it's not like it's wrong to touch with.
Yeah, I'd have to see one. But I'm hoping somebody like Best Buy has it so you can walk in and at least pick it up and look at it. You know.
Yeah, I don't have Bixby running in the background or nothing. So.
Yeah. But for me, if it runs smoothly after I get my Moto, that would probably be the next thing I'd go for.
I'm looking at the OnePlus. I just want to see what they come with.
Yeah.
But I'm really back to the notches. I'm really that whole thing is funny to me.
It's funny because some of the big guys who I respect, like the guys at Android Central, and somebody else big said it this week too. It's like you may not like the notch, but it shouldn't make you not want to buy the phone.
Yeah, it's not that like, okay, most likely the Pixel will have a notch and I'll probably buy it. But what I'm saying is, or even the OnePlus, if I get that, it's gonna have a notch.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna get that too at some point.
All these companies are putting the notch, and they found like, I think it was LG put out the question on Twitter, how do people feel about the notch?
Yeah,
and they got a response. They're like, oh, but there's a way to get rid of it. So why even put it? You know what I mean? Even putting it, like, that's why I think it's funny. It's like they're making it obvious, or they're pretty much making it seem like we had said before, if you're not adding nothing to the hardware or the phone that's adding something, you know what I mean, that makes taking up space, then what's the point?
And you make a good point. The one company that made good use of it was Apple.
Yeah, at least they gave you a reason, but like, I don't know, I don't remember seeing, but on like the LG phone, the two ears or whatever they call them, those two sides, what are they putting on there? Just a battery indicator, right? Your signal. You know what I mean?
I don't even remember what they put.
That's what's most likely going to go in that corner. So it's like, why even put the notch? Because you're not. I don't know. You're not really
not adding anything with it.
Yeah, you're not. But you're not even really adding to the screen because that's all that's going to be in that corner. You might as well just went straight across with the top bezel.
But and that's what some of the big guys are saying. Technically you are getting more screen that way because you're eliminating part of that bezel and you're just bringing it down to the notch. You know. So in that regard, they do have a point.
I guess you're getting a little more screen, but so if you're gonna give me more screen, don't give me a way to disable it. If you believe in it so much, don't give me a way to.
And that's what that whole thing says. Okay, we're giving you this phone with a notch, but we're giving you a way to disable it. So because we know you hate it from day one. That's what it says.
Like Apple was like, listen, we're putting a notch in. Either you buy our phone or you don't buy our phone.
That's Apple. That's how Apple does things. Here it is. You like it, buy it. You don't, tough.
But you know what? When they force it on you, you learn to like it. If you give me a way to disable it, now next time I'm gonna say I don't want the phone with the notch. You know what I mean? You're giving me a choice now. I'm gonna go buy something else.
Yeah. Now, of course, the way things are going, they may not be anything else by next year.
Yeah, well, no, I think the other companies are going to come away from it because Apple's even going to shrink theirs. I think everybody's going to.
Yeah.
I think they just are their designs ready and they're coming with it now. But
yeah. So Mike has not. Oh, the other thing that I wanted to talk about was Google I/O.
Yeah, you see that's coming.
Yeah, which comes next Tuesday. It starts. Let me go see if I can go back to my article where I had the Google I/O up. So, are you excited for that?
Yeah, I'm more looking. I was looking forward to hearing something about RCS, but from what I saw from everybody's what they think is coming, looks like that's not going to come yet. So
yeah, I'm looking at Gizmodo's article about what to expect, and they end up mentioning RCS either.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to.
Right. But to see the whole RCS thing isn't it based upon the providers getting on board? Because if they don't, then it doesn't work.
It's sort of based on the providers and the companies. Like a lot of the companies already pledged support for it. Like, and that was what I was kind of nervous about. I thought you had to use the Google messaging app. You don't. You can use, like Samsung has it built into their messaging app. So you can use Samsung's app or, the LG app or, you can use any messaging app and it'll do it. So
since we just brought it up, I know we brought it up last week, but explain quickly what RCS is to the people.
It's based like what's it called? A more enhanced messaging. Like you'll be able to send larger files, larger videos.
So basically more like iMessage?
Sort of, yeah. You'll get read receipts. You'll see when the other person's typing. It's sort of like iMessage. It's not going to have as many features, I don't believe, but from what they're saying, Google will be able to add features to it, and hopefully the other companies pick them up.
That's one thing that Google is always good at. Once they come out with something, they're good at adding in stuff.
Yeah. You know what though? I was thinking because I had a friend of mine. I think I told you he left from Samsung for years and went to an iPhone, and he went to it strictly, basically for iMessage. He knew he was going to be losing a lot, losing customization, losing freedom. Basically, went to an iPhone, and he's happy with it for where he gained. And I'm like, I like iMessage, but I just can't give up everything else just for iMessage because
and that's what I found for the 6 months that I had the 6 Plus.
Because what you're getting is like you're getting read receipts, and then some of the stuff is like some of it's important. Like on iPhone, you can just if you have iMessage, I can just send somebody a PDF right through iMessage instead of having to use Google Drive or
That's pretty cool, yeah.
That's great. But the thing is, when I look at it, I'm like, how often am I going to use that? And does it make it losing everything else? You know what I mean? To gain that one, because if you're not messaging all day long, it's kind of like, this is all I got for this phone. That's what every time I try Apple, that's what brings me back away from it. I'm like, it's not worth it.
And yeah, and when you say you could send a PDF, that is a cool thing. But then when I think about how many times in the last year have I actually shared something with somebody on Google Drive? Well, twice, I think, in the entire year. Yeah.
But see, that's the thing for me. It's like, if I really have to send a PDF, is it going to kill me to have to send it through Google Drive?
Yeah.
Where I can still have customization, you know, free.
But I guess what the Apple people would say in defense is, but you could just send the PDF and not, for the average person, not have to go through the steps of learning how to send something to somebody through Google Drive, and that would be a point.
Yeah, but going to that file manager and hitting share and pushing Google Drive, you know, that it's pretty easy. Or share, you know, Samsung Share Link. But
let me say something because I work with a bunch of guys who are, you know, in their 60s for the most part, and you and I think it's real easy to share something in Google Drive. I can tell you, these guys, it would drive them crazy, or, well, this is too hard, or, George, you got to show me how to do this. This is what I think the average person is more like.
Yeah. I mean, you know, the iPhone is simple, and that's what gives them. It's simple, and it's been the same since 2007. So that's what gives them the advantage. And they're gonna keep the advantage because it's hard to get. That's what I was telling my friend. I said,
and I see the point.
Who switched from Samsung and went to Apple and stayed because it's really hard.
Because things are too easy. That's true.
Yeah, because he his specific reason that he stayed, and iMessage is it. He knows, like, if he didn't need iMessage, he would leave. And that was my other thing I was trying to tell him. Mike is there, George.
Yep.
I was trying to tell him if
I sent him twice. Let me see if I can send him the link again.
I was trying to tell him. I was trying to tell the guy if he can see. That was the other thing that killed it for me. Is there's so many other apps that do what iMessage does. There's WhatsApp. There's Facebook Messenger. You know what I mean? There's too many other choices that work with both platforms that I can't be locked into iMessage.
Okay, I just sent the link out to Mike again. Wait, let me tell him.
Yeah, he says he joined the call.
Oh, and there he is.
Hi.
It's about time the star of the show shows up. I want to quickly. I took a look at the comments, and Anthony, my Project 13, he typed no notch. Can't wait when the notch conversation stopped. Like completely die, bury it 6 feet under, and notch he typed in caps every time.
Yeah, you know, that's never. I don't think it's ever gonna stop. I don't. I mean, honestly, people say it doesn't bother them. It bothers me. When I had the iPhone, the notch bothered me for watching videos and stuff like that because the extra screen that you're getting is useless when you're watching a video because that notch got in the way.
Yeah, I can see that. And I keep saying I don't think it will bother me, but you've had one, I haven't, so I can't say for sure until I have one.
On the iPhone, it was when you're watching videos because the video, like that part of the video that's the notch is open up, you can't see it unless you crop it. And if I'm gonna crop it, then I might as well get a screen without a notch. I don't
know. Quickly, Deborah, she's one of my Deborah Dukes. She might subscribe to all of us. I don't know, but she's one of those very faithful subscribers. She's asking, what does everybody think the new HTC 12 will be like? I don't know what I think it'll be like.
But I don't see
much better other than that it's coming out. You know, you're such a troublemaker. Anthony's probably going to punch you right in the head. But Deborah, what I just hope is that it continues in the vein of the HTC U11, which I thought was the best phone this year.
We already know they're going to price it high, so I'm not going to get it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm probably, if I get it, it won't be probably till June or July.
Okay, George, this is my okay. What? All right. If you had to choose, I would know, not even choose. Okay, what makes you get an HTC over a OnePlus?
Oh,
Is it
well,
just
I bought them both last year.
well?
And
If
to
you had
me, the two best phones I had last year were the HTC U11 and OnePlus, very closely behind it.
if you had to choose one, what would you get?
HTC U11.
You would get the U11.
Yes, because the OnePlus to me is a great phone, but the U11 to me cameras just beat it out. The U11 cameras to me are right in between the OnePlus and the Pixel, and I mean directly in between. So, and the front-facing camera on the U11 is just awesome in my opinion.
Yeah.
All right, Mike, you need to shoot your mouth off some.
I know. I'm looking at the comments. I'm trying to get caught up here.
Okay.
So
we went right through the whole list. So let's go back and talk about anything you want to talk about on that list.
well, it was interesting with all about the notch and has anybody seen the front screen on the U12?
No.
It's so hard to call it U12.
I've seen nothing. I've just seen that it's going to be coming, but I've seen nothing else.
So they really have kept a pretty good hand on the leaks this time around.
Or if somebody has published anything, I haven't seen it yet.
I keep on
have
seeing,
you, Will?
No, I haven't seen nothing. Nope.
Okay.
All I keep on seeing is the back. It's always the back.
Exactly.
So
if they have a notch, all the hate is going to be on the day one.
Well, they're really going to need to stand out. They can't come out like the. I'm kind of understanding people's comments about how the G7, the LG G7, is like, what's so special about it? You know what I mean?
And that's what Will and I were saying. From everything I've seen so far, because you can't not see the G7 this week, it looks to me like a slightly upgraded V30. So even if I had the money, I probably wouldn't go out and buy it.
George, you got a question in the room.
Yeah,
George, trade your U11 for a 12.
Oh, Anthony, if the 12 is better in my estimation, absolutely. Yes, I would. Yes, I would. But I'd have to see that the cameras were good. In other words, I'd be watching somebody else's videos before I went out to trade in my U11 because that phone is just too awesome for me.
It's a phone that's hard to let go for you.
Exactly.
I know where you're coming from.
And keep in mind, I normally do not let go of phones. The only phone I've gotten rid of in the last 9 or 10 months is I traded in the original Pixel for the Galaxy S9.
Now, Mike, I got a question for you based on your stream because I missed most of it from Wednesday.
Okay.
I can watch it. I missed it live. Okay. The Essential phone. Is that a good buy for you? When that phone came out, was that a good buy for you at the price? I think it was $700.
Well, I didn't buy the Essential.
I know. What did you think? Like, you saw the reviews. Did you think they were being too harsh on it?
Yeah.
We discussed this. Oh, you thought they were too harsh, Mike?
Yeah, I think they were too. I think they were too harsh, and all of a sudden, when the price lowered, it was the greatest thing next to sliced bread.
Well, to some of us, a lot of people said it was worth it at the $500 price point, but a lot of people were still saying the camera still wasn't up to stuff. And to me, this camera's still not up to stuff to this day.
I don't think George ever found out what came out with that phone. I don't remember. But at $700, that phone had a lot of compromises. You didn't get no waterproofing.
No.
The camera wasn't good.
No. Right.
So
no headphone jack.
That phone was one of my beefs I had with that phone.
But this is what I'm saying. How were they too hard on it when you could have got, I believe, a OnePlus 5T maybe was out for $500, and you got the same thing. You didn't have waterproofing, but
I don't think they were too hard on it.
You had a headphone jack. and you had a better camera.
Wait. Will, the price had an effect on it.
But that's but it's supposed to. That's what I'm saying. They work hard on it. If you come out with a phone for $700, almost $1,000, which is some people that's their mortgage.
Wait a minute, Will. You can't say $700 is almost $1,000.
It is.
Okay. $300 less.
Okay, $700. You come out with $700, which is almost $701. It's almost $701. You're supposed to be hard on it. It's not like it's a.
I agree.
It's a Motorola, a Moto E4.
You surprised me, Mike. I never thought anybody was too hard on it, so I just think you're being kind.
Well, no, I also too. What I have a beef with Essential is that I think they were under the gun to get that phone out, and they rolled it out, and it's been continuous updates ever since. It has. And they were not the first one that rolled out updates. I mean, even the Pixel 2.
Yeah, and the Razor had the same issue.
Right. They all rolled out. Last year was the year of get the phone out and then we'll fix it later.
But the difference was the Pixel didn't have a camera issue. The Pixel had a screen issue, and the other two had camera issues.
Right. Pixel updates because of complaints of the people complained about the screen, what they were expecting.
Exactly. The blue tint and all that stuff.
The Essential phone got updates because the camera just wasn't good. So that's what So for people to go back and for whoever it was, Mr. Mobile or MKBHD, whoever, for them to come out and say, don't buy this phone for $700, and to come back later and say, yeah, after they release 15 updates, the camera's a little better and the price is $450 some places. That makes sense. I don't see how people said they were hard on it when the phone was
I never thought they were hard on it. And one thing to this day why I still wouldn't buy the phone, even you can get it for $400 or $450. But I still wouldn't buy it because I have yet to hear one person who likes the phone say the camera is now good. Because I still don't think it's good.
That's because Mike, to me, that's like you saying I can choose I think an S8 was out. So a standard S8 or get the Essential phone. You know what I mean? Like, how could you can't, like, if you put yourself in that price bracket, you get what comes. You know what I mean? If they're hard, that's like the iPhone being $1,000, people to be nice to it.
Let me stick something in just from I see why Anthony from Project 13 asked this question. He's saying if someone offered me the HTC U12 for my Nexus 6, I'd say no way in caps. But of course, we all know, Anthony, you love that phone to death. Mm-hmm. Okay, go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. I saw that comment. Yeah. No, maybe Will. I don't know. Maybe I explained myself wrong, but I thought the Essential phone was too high in price, and it came out with all kinds of issues.
Camera issues above all. Oh yeah, no, that's right, because they had apps that kept stopping and starting too. And when it first came out.
There was also connectivity problems. I thought I heard on T-Mobile mobile service.
Okay.
So
that's what I'm saying. They weren't really hard on the phone. Like the phone is priced where it should have been at from the beginning.
Let me reflect back for a second. Hold on. I see where you're going with, but if you want to say they're hard on all phones. All the reviewers are hard on all phones.
I don't know about that.
I was going to say,
now all the reviewers are picky in some way or other, but I don't think most of the reviewers are hard on most phones. But in this case, it deserved it. Now I did think they were very hard on HTC U Ultra, which I didn't get because so many people said so many negative things. But they were hard on that phone.
George, you think they were hard on it, but okay, I didn't get the phone either. But from hearing from everybody speak about the phone was almost $800, right?
Yeah.
It came out with a whole bunch of flagship phones for around the same price.
That's true.
Right? What made that phone so great? Like with MKBHD was like, the phone is huge. He was like, it's bigger than this phone. He named like 3 phones.
That's true.
Very small.
Yeah.
I think you only got a single speaker. So how can you come out with the? I don't know if it had waterproof, and I don't know. I don't remember. But how could you come out with a phone for that price and you're not offering nothing?
Yeah.
Yeah, you should. It don't matter if your software could be amazing, but for what you're getting for the phone, just like y'all were saying in your stream, like for what you're getting for the phone, you can go get a Motorola phone for a third of the price, and you're getting, you know what I mean? Like,
and I have to admit, I specifically did not get the Ultra because once I hear like 20 different people I respect all saying the same thing, well, then Jay Will and a few others said good things about it. Too many people said it was terrible for me to not believe them. That's just how I felt.
But that's what I don't get. What was good about the phone at that price?
Go back and look at. Go ahead, Mike.
Will, real quick. Alan Anthony is asking what kind of mic you're using. You're really loud, at least in my what I'm hearing here. What kind of mic?
It's just the Samsung earbuds.
Oh, are they okay? All right. You normally have your earpods in.
Yeah, I didn't charge them.
Okay. All right. Yeah. There we go. I'm just answering a question in the room.
What was good about the phone for that price? I don't understand.
Amalia Marie in the comments is saying $500 should be the top phone tier pricing because what you can get for $250 is now amazing. Now, that is a good point. But I think the answer to that, as long as people are willing to pay $1,000 for an iPhone, that's never going to happen.
Yeah, but see, that's what I don't get, George. Like to say they were hard on the Essential or the U11 or U12, whatever was that, the Ultra, whatever it was.
Right.
Say they were hard on it. I don't understand how people can say they slammed that phone. That phone was a flagship phone that didn't come with the features of other flagship phones at the same time.
And that's the other thing I question. They called it a flagship phone, but they came out in less than 3 months with the HTC U11. If you have a flagship phone, do you need to come out with another flagship phone in less than 3 months?
But that's what I mean. Like,
wait, we just lost your audio.
He probably was flailing and unplugged himself.
Yeah, Will gets excited. Okay.
You there?
We still can't hear you.
Nope.
We're not hearing you say a word. I know, his wife told him to shut up.
George, you put him on mute, didn't you?
I mute anybody.
Dude.
Okay, what are you doing?
Yeah. I don't know what happened. The price made it a flagship phone, so it deserved to get.
No, but they called it a flagship phone too.
Yeah, so
and
that's what I'm saying.
With the U11 and call that a flagship phone, which it was.
I don't know what was good about the phone that made it a flagship phone because it had close to stock software with an HTC skin on it.
Good night, Anthony.
So what made it worth the $700? Like it deserved to get whatever bad reviews it got.
That is just I never saw until that point. Now keep in mind I've been following Real Tech for 3 years, and I never saw another phone get slammed that badly by that many people that didn't have major issues like say the Essential did when it came out.
So let me try to understand. What did you think about the Essential phone? What do you feel about it then?
For me?
Yeah.
I just think, okay, at the price it's at now, I wouldn't buy it either because I could buy a OnePlus and I know the camera's good.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? For that phone when that phone came out and I had pre-ordered it, was about to buy it for I think it was $800 with the camera, so I was paying $700 for the phone or whatever. If I would have bought that phone, I would have been mad. There would have been no way I would have been happy. I don't care if they pushed out 30 updates because the camera.
Oh yeah.
In my case, if it came out at the price it is right now, with the camera being what it is right now, I'd be considering it, but I may or may not buy it. But this is where it should have been.
I think about all the people that got screwed who bought it at first at $700 and then they lowered the price to.
Yeah, there were all kinds of articles about that too.
how can somebody say the phone? That's what I don't understand. To say the phone is good when it came out, to say the phone was decent, even decent at $700, it's nothing. It's stock software with a different camera app. Like, I don't understand why it was even, people were even saying it was treated unfair. The phone was $700 and the camera wasn't good. And besides that, that was like buying a Motorola E4 body.
Yeah, I'd say the camera was about at that level when it came out
For $700.
Yeah.
How can you be happy with that? Like, you weren't getting no waterproofing, no nothing special, no headphone jack. You're not going to find no cases in Best Buy for the phone.
And it wasn't like the Moto phones where you got at least the Moto Jesters. I mean, you got plain stock Android, and that's all you got.
That was like a Nexus.
Exactly.
I don't understand what was. To me, I don't see how people say it was treated unfair like that one in the other one. At the price now, to me, it's still too high. The phone should be like $300.
So, Will, let me ask you this: the new Sony phone, the ZXZ2.
Yeah,
they're calling out a flagship. I think that's going for us. Huh?
Now, Jay Will likes that phone. He just got it.
George?
Say it again?
Is that the one that you got?
No, I got the XA2, which is the next tier down.
It's a mid-ranger.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about
Jay Will just got the XC, and he
got
seems
the
to like it a lot. Yeah, he got the premium, and he seems to like it a lot.
But you were talking about what you're considering a flagship. Now there's a flagship phone there that's going for $799, I guess.
Yeah.
To me, that's a flagship price because it's $800.
Yeah.
Right. It's almost $1,000.
So if that
good for you, Mike.
It's closer to $1,000 than it is to 500. To 100 or 200.
Well, that's true.
But that Sony phone is going to get no love here in America.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is
Sony doesn't advertise anything.
But Mike, if they review it and the phone gets smashed for whatever it's lacking or whatever, based on you have to look at look at what we have now. If you come out with a flagship right now, even if you might say, just like when you didn't have the S7 yet, you said, "Oh, I don't need waterproofing," or "I don't need this," or "I don't need that." If you come out with a phone right now for $800 and you don't have water resistance, you know what I mean? Or a fingerprint scanner or
face recognition.
You deserve to get smashed because you're putting yourself up there with all those phones that have it. Even if you hate Samsung or you hate LG software, the stuff that they're giving you with the phone makes it, you know what I mean, puts it at that price. It makes
I think that's going to happen to the XE Premium because even last year's, people respected, people liked it.
I'm just saying,
Sony doesn't advertise.
But that's what I mean. When the Essential phone came out, to come out and be lacking those features, that's like when the first Pixel came out. Everybody liked the phone, but they were like, for $850, you can go buy this, and this, and you'll get water resistant.
You did see that a lot in articles.
Camera might be just as, almost just as good. You'll get that, you know what I mean? So your bezels will be smaller.
Yeah, but keep in mind what sold the Pixel, 1 and 2 is
the
update. Just so
and the update. But they still, all the reviewers said you can buy this, and this, and you'll have a phone you'll have more features. You won't get your updates, but your camera is going to be right there, almost at the same level.
Well, almost, but nobody says that any of those phones' camera would be up there with the Pixel. Everybody says it's still the best.
But for the price, remember the Pixel 2 XL, I think it was almost with tax. I know for me, I think it was $9 something.
$950, something like that.
If you could pay $9 something, or you can get the S7, or you know what I mean, S7 Edge or whatever was out at the time.
I still toy with buying an S7 Edge because I've never had one.
You're gonna get just about the same experience. So even the Pixel got treated the same way as the Essential phone.
Well, I don't think so because the camera.
They said the camera was great. The essential
better than anything else.
No, but what I'm saying is, they still the same way with the essential phone. They said this phone is priced too high compared to what's out. With the Pixel, a lot of people they said the phone is great, but when they asked, "Is it worth $900?" a lot of people said no.
Okay, but when the iPhone 10 came out, you had the same argument. The awful lot of people were saying there's no way it's worth $1,000, but people bought it anyway.
It isn't worth it, but it still got the same criticism as the essential phone, or as you know what I mean.
That's true. Yeah, you got a point there.
Pixel came out at $1,000, no waterproofing, no dual speakers, and that wasn't even a big thing yet. I think what was that phone you had, Mike? Axon 7.
Oh yeah, I have that too. That's a great phone.
Well, speakers,
but and what sells it? The speakers are what sell that phone.
But what I'm saying is, people were saying for the price of an Axon 7, they can put dual speakers. Why didn't the Pixel put dual speakers?
That's
so it's
true.
the same criticism.
Wait, I got something in the comments. Emily and Marie, if they call, now see if you guys are understanding. I'm not sure I'm understanding. If they call a flagship, I shouldn't be able to get more RAM plus storage with a good camera for 1/4 of the price.
If you call a phone a flagship phone, then that means that phone should be the top of the line. I shouldn't be able to go buy a OnePlus with 8 gigs of RAM and
so you're basically agreeing with her. Okay.
No, I'm not agreeing, but I see what she's saying. It kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I agree. It does kind of make sense.
That's like when
to me, this $220 phone is an awesome phone, and it's $220. I mean, is it a flagship? Probably not. Is it real close to a flagship? I think so. You know. Oh yeah, I keep mentioning Huawei. Never mind.
Interesting though too. I want to just also, you're holding up that SE. I just sold the Honor 7X, right, and I got my money back on it.
Okay.
Of course, I mean, I asked for the price what I bought it for,
and you got it.
Yeah. Now, of course, Swappa takes their part and all that stuff.
Right.
But I couldn't get over. I actually went with the price. There were prices that were just slightly higher than what I was asking for.
Right.
So that was surprising to see that.
That is good. And the only reason I didn't get the 7X was based on Alan Phone Tech and working a few others saying with the 3 gigabytes of RAM, it could stutter a little bit. And then when the Mate came out and I saw 4 gigabytes of RAM, no stuttering. Well, that was an easy choice for me.
Right.
And and Mike, before you got on, we had talked about the Nokia 6 2018, which they initially said wasn't coming out in America. Well, now it is going to come out in America.
Yes.
And I looked at the specs today, and as soon as I saw 3 gigabytes of RAM, I was like, oh, I don't know, because my XA2, as beautiful a phone as it is with good cameras, it stutters. It's got 3 gigabytes of RAM. That makes me back off a little bit.
George, look in the room. Phone Tech at Work said the Mate SC has 4 gigs of RAM and 64 gigs of storage. The same as the G7.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Good point, Alan. Very good point.
When the G7 comes out, people are going to...
And what did I just say? I said, is it a flagship? No. Is it close to a flagship? Yes, in my opinion.
Wait a minute. Consider what that phone is coming with. It it has right now. The SE doesn't have that stupid button on the side for Assistant.
Right.
If you properly set it up, you can do Google Assistant without needing a button.
Are you kidding? I cast to my TV all the time. I just say, put this on the TV in the bedroom. It does it.
You know, but the button is just nonsense. Yeah,
I agree. The button is a stupid idea.
Wait. Here's the kicker. That phone doesn't have a notch. Score. Okay. No notch. You know, $200 phone.
Some people want the notch. Some people want the notch because they want that little bit of extra space.
Yeah, I know. They're just going to flash that phone and fool everybody. Say, oh, he's got an iPhone. That's what it is.
I'm not going to make any bad nut jokes as much as I'm known for bad jokes.
I'm waiting for the
seen
punch.
too many of them.
I'm waiting for the
I'm
punch.
not going to do it, okay?
I'm not going to do it. See? Good one. I knew you. It was in you. It was building
You
up.
suckered me into it.
Coming right out. Hey, listen, I just want to, real quick, I saw you guys were talking. Did you talk about the V35 exclusive to AT&T?
Aren't we lucky at AT&T that we're going to get a V35? So
I'm still confused about what the V35 actually is.
it is. I bet you they're going to add a little bit of battery and probably put DirecTV something on. It's going to be nonsense, and AT&T will charge.
So are you thinking it's a G7 just without a notch?
Yeah, it's gonna be like when Sprint had the, what was it, the G6 Plus or whatever?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It'll be something like that.
And I just think that these deals are so stupid. I mean, it's the same phone, so admit it's the same phone, but no, it's all exclusive. It sounds so stupid to me.
Well, here's the thing. I want to play a little bit with that exclusivity.
Yeah.
Just a few days ago, Verizon announced that they cut a deal with Samsung to put additional Bluetooth. All right.
What? Put what?
Additional Bluetooth.
That is
They're going to put. They got what they call Oath. The company's called Oath. What is essentially what was AOL and parts of Yahoo, because Verizon bought them too.
Okay.
Right, and they liquefied them and came out with this company called Oath, and they're going to bake that in there. And I think personally that this V35 is their way of doing copycat. They're going to come out with some kind of service that this phone's going to do better in.
That's what I'm talking
about.
So what, you mean like Bixby or something?
No. They're services. They're AT&T services like DirecTV.
Oh, okay.
Whatever else AT&T might be ownership of.
I guess that might make sense. Yeah.
I mean, Will, does it make sense a little bit?
Now wait, that thing with Oath or whatever, that's not new, because there's a program that comes on the phones anyway, on Verizon phones, that did that. When you put card in there, it puts it in there right away. It starts downloading Verizon apps. Now, what they said was that you're going to be able to remove these programs that come on the Galaxy phone. And I think it's not going to just be the phones that you buy tomorrow or whatever. The phones that people already have, it's going to go to those phones too.
Yeah, they're going to get an update.
And then they said you can.
Now I'm going to be me, because I want you both to swear this is true. In other words, I want you to take an oath. Okay. I had to get that out.
Now, see, that's the thing, Mike. It's the dumbest thing. But like you said, LG might be trying to do something like that.
Right. There's got to be a deal. They got to have something that would promote some kind of service that AT&T and including LG.
And if it makes them money, I guess it makes sense.
Right. And that's what I was wondering, that and I forgot. Yes, you're right about there was an app, but I just came across somebody. I'm helping with their phone. That app downloaded, and that just completely tore up the phone. They got all kinds of battery life issues, and also
it has a name. I forget what it's called. There's like videos of people trying to tell you how to disable it, and you can remove it, but it just comes back. But the thing is, that's why I'm kind of getting over the update part of it. Because you remember, Mike, how you were so mad with your V20? You weren't getting updates. Like phones, like the unlocked Samsung phones, the AT&T Samsung phone got an update already, and I think it's going to be having the S9. It's going to be having chatbot support in the app and all that. I'm kind of like, at this point, who cares? As long as if it's not like a security update, because the carriers are just pushing junk on your phone.
Anyway, the whole chatbot thing is annoying anyway to me.
Well, you'll be able to go on there and chat in the messenger and call up 1-800-Flowers by type, you know what I mean, and make your order.
Yeah.
It's nonsense.
they're gonna steer you, like you said, waiting 100. If you want to order flowers, what you're suggesting, they got a deal with some supplier that they're gonna get a cut of the pie. So,
all I want to do right now is push RCS out, and I'll be good. If they push RCS, they can keep the updates. I'll just use the Pixel.
Interesting comment from Emily and Marie. I almost went with a Xiaomi. With Huawei has never disappointed me, and I agree. But of course, I have both, and everyone I've bought from either one has been good. So.
I can't use their software. I don't think I.
Well, remember, I always put my Google Now launcher, which I can't do anymore.
Yes. yeah. Yeah, that's sad.
I like the launchers, but I try to. I don't know. I use them like I used Nova for a while, but I always go back to the stock. Even on Samsung, I always go back to stock, and I don't really like TouchWiz, but I don't know.
Samsung, I put on the Nova launcher. I'm happy with it so far. You know, I'll be trying out the lawn chair launcher probably sometime this weekend. So.
Lawn chair is pretty good.
Yeah. So,
and Mike, the other thing we were just starting to get into was the Google I/O.
Yeah, what do we expect with that?
Well, you know, Will made a good point. Will was hoping he'd see something about RCS, but in the articles he saw and the articles I saw, not one mention of it.
That's what I was looking forward to. At this point, I'm like, whatever, because to me, that's their big news that's coming. You know what I mean? Every time I want to go back to an iPhone, it's because of the messaging, and they still haven't fixed it. And even with all their announcements, the fact that they still need the carrier kind of got me like, are they ever going to get there? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you got to feel that at this point. But what's funny, Mike, I'm looking at the Gizmodo article on it, and what's coming up, and they're bringing up Android P, Material Design 2, the new Android TV dongle, which I'm kind of excited about, and Android Things, which is the whole Internet of Things platform with the doorbell and more security stuff. But nobody's mentioned the RTS at all.
To me, that was the big thing I was looking forward to. It's like if they're not pushing that, I don't know. I'm not really interested.
With their track record, maybe they're afraid to be pushing that.
Yeah, but you know what though, George? They're not really doing nothing because all they're doing is making their messaging app better. RCS is already out there. Google's not doing it. They're just helping to promote it. But I don't know, like AT&T already has their own advanced messaging.
Yeah.
T-Mobile.
I guess my point is every time Google has mentioned a messaging app as a big deal, it's been a flop. Just like they're taking Allo away now.
The reason it's a flop is because I don't know. I think Google I'm hoping RCS works and the carriers and everybody comes on, but it seems like Verizon is not really going to be on board, and they saying AT&T hasn't fully committed yet or something. But Google is going to have to force it. They're going to have to do like Apple did. Even if you have to just say, all right, screw it. The Pixel phones, the messaging app is going to be chat or whatever they're calling it. Right. And the messages are going to go through Google servers the same way iMessage does. Forget it. Just don't give people a choice. Otherwise.
But Google has never. I mean, they're trying to take more control, but I don't think they've ever quite been anywhere near that pushy.
George, do you think that it's ever going to work the way it is now? Even though we're going to go back. Look, no. Sprint was the only ones who supported it out the gate. Sprint had it. So if you had Sprint to Sprint, you were getting the features. Right. But other than that, how are we ever going to get there if AT&T has their own thing that works with flagship phones? You got to have a flagship. You have to be on postpaid, or you don't get their advanced messaging. What is the reason for them to say, yeah, we're gonna take the one that lets everybody use it? They have no reason.
This is why I'm thinking Google can't do what Apple does, because Verizon and AT&T are just going to flat out say no.
Remember, Verizon doesn't even go to the carrier for nothing with iMessage, because when you send an iMessage, it goes to Apple's server. It doesn't count on text messaging. So if Google says we're going to make our own server that sends our messages from the same way when you send it through Allo, we're going to, you know what I mean? Everybody was happy with Allo. All they wanted was fallback, so that when you message somebody with a phone, it went back and fall back to text. They didn't do it.
Yeah.
That was our message.
I just think if they do that, they're going to get pushback from Verizon and AT&T at least.
Apple hasn't gotten no pushback, because you can still text if you send it to somebody who's not using.
Well, I'm thinking the difference is Apple has always dictated. Google has never dictated. They just started trying to dictate to some degree last year.
But
I don't see them getting to that point.
They need to, otherwise it's never going to work. As much as I want, I don't think it's ever going to work.
Well, Mike, what do you think?
Well, I think my grandson will be graduating high school when RCS comes to be.
Yeah, you got a point.
Because listen, keep that, Mike, because all right, every time we hear about RCS, the only place you hear it from is Google.
Yeah,
it's true.
He doesn't talk about it. Sprint doesn't talk about it, and they've been using it forever. T-Mobile doesn't say nothing. Nobody mentions it. I don't hear nothing about AT&T's advanced service.
I don't know. I'm asking real quick. Is RCS just for here in Americas, or is this going to be a global thing?
RCS is supposed to be for everywhere.
It's supposed to be global. That's why they want everybody on board. But it seems like the people who are last to get on board are our biggies. You know?
Yeah, because that's the thing, Mike. Like, that's what I was trying to tell my friend. He went to iPhone from Samsung for years because of iMessage, and he messages his family. But the thing is, there's so many other apps that do the same thing that iMessage does. Like, you can get Facebook Messenger, you can send large videos, you can send, you know what I mean, all that. You can get emoji and all. You can get all that. We're the only ones with the messaging problem is here. Nobody else uses text. Everybody else uses WhatsApp or Telegram. Right. We're the only ones with the problem, and the problem is the carrier.
So that's what I mean, though. Do you think Google could roll out RCS to other parts of the world, and we're stuck like fools?
Yes, I think that could happen.
The other places might have it already. I think it's only.
I'm curious how come we don't hear about it.
I think it's only because most places, remember, Mike, they still pay per text message. A lot of places, we don't.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I've heard that.
Or because they don't want to pay. We don't pay for it, and we still end up with the problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's a simple thing. I don't understand. Google should have said, "All right, Allo is going to be our messaging app. We're going to, when you send the message, it's going to go through the Google server. Allo, it's going to go as a text message."
But when you say it's a simple thing, you're Android Central. I'm with Jerry Hildebrand there. There's a lot of 35 years as a programmer, not a mobile programmer, but there's no such thing as a simple thing when you got to roll out something globally. That's an awful lot of programming and programmers.
Listen, Apple came later, and Apple was able to do it.
Yes, they did, and they probably threw the money in it. But it's never a simple thing.
Here's a comment here from Deborah Dukes. She says, "I know, but many don't like change," and that's a good point.
Except that Android users tend to like change a lot more than Apple users.
Okay, Mike, what would be the change if Google told you, if you use Android messaging app, our messaging app, you're going to get read receipts, you're going to be able to send larger files and all that. You don't have to use it, but that's how you're going to get your RCS. Or even if they said you have to use it, let's say they forced it on you, you have to use it. What is the change? You're getting it's an advantage.
I understand that, You understand that.
And I agree. And Deborah, I think Will's right. The change is only for the better. So I don't think people would resist. The resistance that they're going to get is, I believe, from Verizon, AT&T. Not sure about T-Mobile.
I already said Verizon, but that's what I don't understand. Verizon is already doing their own thing, is from what I'm understanding.
Verizon doesn't like to be dictated to by anybody.
No.
Yes. I don't have the app, but George, Verizon has their Verizon Messages Plus or whatever.
Right.
If you send somebody a message with Verizon, you get read receipts and you get all that. You can send larger files. So Google said, all right, we're making Allo or we're making Hangouts or whatever.
Right.
Essentially, what Apple did, Hangouts definitely was, because you had your SMS fallback on there.
Right.
Why wouldn't you just do that? How can you try? You can't make everybody do one thing if you're not going to put your foot down and say you have to do it.
Wasn't that what they were supposed to be trying to do with Hangouts 3-4 years ago? And that's where they were going, and all of a sudden they changed their mind or something? I don't know what the deal is there.
Yeah.
They're trying to global.
Look at the comment that Tech Free Needs pointed out, and that's a good. I hear what you guys are saying, but I agree with him. Try and explain it to the average consumer. And as much as you say it's good for everybody, people are going to. I think people at first will resist it, and along with the carriers are not helping the situation.
And that's probably where Deborah is right. The average consumer, it sounds too technical to them, so they're going to resist change.
All right, listen. Everybody got a conspiracy theory. I got one for you right now.
Oh, jeez.
I wish I had a tinfoil hat. Apple.
I love it.
Apple is paying the carrier because if they keep Android like this with messaging, it's going to push me.
And that's a real conspiracy.
Yeah. If everything else is a conspiracy, think about it. If you're Apple and I tell AT&T, don't get on board with the RCS, do your own thing.
I'll tell you not to.
Yeah, do your own thing so that AT&T can send to AT&T. But if I send to Mike, I'll never know if he got my message. That's going to make somebody. When I walk in the store, if I don't know nothing and somebody shows me my grandson who says, "Look, I can see when you read my message," or I can, you can send me
a point there. Is it possible? Sure, it's possible.
Who wouldn't want that? Like, I don't understand. That's something, and it helps the carrier because they can get rid of SMS.
Mm-hmm.
And do it.
I needed that last night. I had a coworker send me a text message last night to send my other coworker, the guy who's in charge when we're out on Fridays, and to send him something. Well, I sent him a text message, and then I said, "Okay, I did it." Well, it turned out this morning he never got the text message. Well, I had no way of knowing that.
That's it, right. George. It's like we were saying with the PDF example, but it's like a basic thing that you would think that the carriers would say, "Oh yeah, this is a good idea."
Never do that comment. Please.
Why wouldn't you come?
Loves to tell me to take my tinfoil hat off.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and since you mentioned tinfoil hat, me and you know my friend Mike that's been on a couple of times with us. He's a biker too. He and I and another friend of ours who passed away in California, we used to have a group called the Foil Riders of America. And to get in it, there was only about 6 of us. But to join the group, you had to have somebody take a picture of you with tinfoil over your helmet while you were riding to keep the government out. And we all did that.
Very nice. Very nice.
That's my conspiracy, and this is the first time I thought about it. That's
it makes sense. It certainly
because remember, just like I think you heard Android Central, just like they said, if the carriers
security,
if they get on board, Apple is going to be the oddball because they'll need SMS still, and if all the carriers go to RCS, Apple will have to change.
Well,
right now,
I don't know. Apple has so many millions of users.
Listen to what I'm saying. If RCS pushes through, right?
Yeah.
And I can send you a message and it goes through RCS, whatever. When I send it to an iPhone, it has to go to them by text message.
Yeah,
because
that's true.
So they would be the oddball. If they tell the other people, don't get on RCS, take your time, take your time.
Well, like I said, Verizon doesn't like to be dictated to. You know, Apple doesn't like anybody dictated to.
You know what? Apple is smart enough to say we're not going to be dictated to because we'll go around the carrier. That's what Google's not getting.
Yeah,
go
you got a point there.
Yeah. Get the carrier.
Yeah.
So Will, who's in the grassy knoll right now?
Ooh, very good.
John Legier, whatever his name is.
Okay.
The sprint guy is the second gunman.
Well, you guys are dragging me back. I lived through it. I actually read books about it in the 60s.
Well, you were going with conspiracy, so I figured I'd throw that one out there, you know?
Yeah.
That's a shame. I hate to say it because I want to see it come, but I don't think it's going to happen. I really don't.
I just said my grandson will be graduating high school when it does come.
We kind of all agree we don't see it happening.
I don't think it's going to happen this year. I think that's why they're being quiet about it, and Google hasn't officially come out and said nothing.
Well, but that's where I agree with you. This is where what I meant when I said I think they're afraid to talk about it.
You know what? That to me that kills it for me because I want that. Like,
yes, so do I. I would want it too.
Like a big thing on your phone is messaging, and you can't.
But as techies, we look at the track record of Google with messaging. And I don't think any of us are going to get excited anytime soon.
See, that's what I'm saying. I mean, you can blame Google. They had their chance with Hangouts, and they had their chance with Allo. But that's what I'm saying. The only way they'll be able to do it is if they force it. And like the people in the comments said, people don't like change. They're going to have to force you to use it for it to work, like Apple did. Think about it. If you buy an iPhone, even if you say you don't like the customization, nobody on there says, I wish I could switch my text app. And Apple's text messaging app is simple. It's not.
They know they're locked in, and that's that.
No. Even if, that's what I'm saying, even if you, if you bought an iPhone now and you use the text app, George, you don't like iPhone, but you're not going to say, I wish I can switch my text app because you're going to get an advantage. You're getting what's it called? You're getting iMessage.
You're getting a better messaging app. Yes.
Yeah. Google. That's all they got to do.
But none of us think they'll do it.
Oh yeah, you can. I was going to ask, can you get another messaging or text messaging app in Apple? But then again, you'll be like,
it's not. Like
you'd be going to less.
Well, it'll be like you can use another app. You can use. You can still use WhatsApp and all that, but your base text messaging for text is iMessage.
Right.
Okay. And that's the thing. That's the advantage. Once you start using iMessage and you see, oh, my mother-in-law is a blue bubble or whoever, and you know what I mean? You love it. You might.
Okay.
The thing that's
text for your needs agrees with you.
Mike, you always laugh at me. You tell me I always switch. I hate the iPhone. I hate the software. I hate everything about it. But when I'm messaging, if I want to message somebody on an iPhone, it's so much better than on Android.
And I don't hate the iPhone, but
because you can't
like Android better. But when people ask me about what just flat out works, I tell them get an iPhone.
Because see, and Mike, you tried iPhone, but you didn't get the advantage of it, I guess, because you didn't have enough people on iMessage to make you really be like, wow, you know what I mean? When you left, you didn't really miss it. If you message a lot of people who have iPhone, you're going to be like, I hate going back to Android.
And that's probably true for me, too.
It's like you're going back to in the past. Like, you can't see a receipt.
All right. Well, I guess I'll go get an iPhone 8.
There you go.
And I'll give it a try.
There you go.
All
right, let's move on. Mike, I want to get your thoughts on what you want to see at Google I/O, or what you're excited about.
What am I excited about? Well, I one thing I wanted to see what they're going to do with more. They talked about AI last year. I mean, every other word came out was AI. I'd like to see what they're expanding with that. The other thing they talk about is material design, Number two,
material design too. Yeah.
Yeah. Now I think that's more for the Chrome aspect. I see a lot of stuff going on with Chrome.
Yeah, I agree.
A lot of updates. I think they're going to surprise us with something. What that would be, I don't know. You know what I mean? That's always the argument.
Don't you think this is still the long-awaited push in tying together of Android and Chrome? Because that's supposedly where they're going at some point.
They're going there, but they're not going. You know, they're taking their time, and which is good.
You're not kidding.
They're taking their time, but it's good to see the Android apps on more tablets, or not tablets, Chromebooks.
Yeah, that's where I'm more excited about the new Android TV dongle, because I haven't seen much about it. But if they have a dongle that I can buy, that I can just stick in an HDMI port and have Android TV, I'm down with that.
Will's going back to Apple. I'll meet you in the blue bubble, buddy. Okay, I'll meet you in the blue bubble.
Turn into a blue bubble, Mike.
All right, that does it. I'm going to T-Mobile tomorrow. I was looking at them. They had for $80. I could go and start, do for $80.
$80? What?
Oh no. I got to come up with $80, and then I make
I told you, Mike. Let me know. We'll find a buy one get one.
Now you know the king of the deal will find it for you.
Really? Yeah, Mike, you find me a buy one get one. We're on it.
Oh wait. This means you have to come to T-Mobile.
No.
Finally.
Listen. We'll buy it. You pay off one. You get the bill credits. Buy it. Pay off, and you get the bill credits.
And sell one of them.
No, you keep the other one.
Oh, okay.
It's for it.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep up here because I know you always find a way to do something and you sell it and you make more money or something like that. You always come out.
I told you he needs to write the book, The Art of the Deal too.
He said you're gonna go, so I said if you're gonna go, we buy one, pay it off, and then the rest of it is the bill credits. You get the bill credits for the other one. You get buy one get one. They pay you bill credits for the other one.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I think they're still having that buy one get one free.
Let me know.
Hey, Will, you were talking about real quick, not to go back, back to the messaging. Does AT&T have their own proprietary one, just like Verizon does?
AT&T has one.
Oh, they do, huh?
It sucks because you have to have, the person has to have I think it started with the S6. You have to have either an S6 or an S7 or LG, whatever LG had at the time. It has to be on AT&T's network. Like that's the other thing that, man, I'm going back to Apple. You gotta have a brand. You gotta have a carrier branded phone, or you lose your feature.
Exactly, and I don't want any carrier branded phone.
If you're not Apple, you lose your features like the Pixel. I only have HD voice. I can't use Wi-Fi calling. And I know you're gonna tell me to go to T-Mobile, but what I'm saying is, Google Android is a mess, man.
But if you're on T-Mobile, it's better.
It's a little better, but you still ain't getting no read receipt.
Oh, man. Well, so let me ask you, guys, what do you think of Android One? Do you think that's going to be in here with the Google I/O?
I don't think
any
so.
I don't know,
but I kind of hope so because I think the whole Android One thing works very well. That's my opinion. Yeah.
Agreed. Yes.
And I think it's going in the right direction, especially for poorer countries. But I think we benefit. Like I have one Android One phone, which is my Xiaomi Mi A1, and I think you can get a great phone cheap. Yeah, that's the way to go.
I don't know. I'm still bummed about this messaging mess. That's a mess.
Plus, the phone snob isn't going to get it.
One. Do you see Mike's issues with that Nokia?
Yes, but I have the Xiaomi Mi A1. No issues.
That's a proper phone. That's a proper phone right there.
Yeah, that's a great phone.
And even Will's other favorite company, Motorola, the Moto X4.
Yeah, exactly.
Now I just saw somewhere that that's getting 8.1 update. I just saw on Google Plus. So, hey, look, we got Tony in the room. Part of the Pixel Brothers.
Yeah, Tony was the first one in here tonight, Mike. He was in here before the broadcast actually kicked off.
Nice.
Yeah. Who got rid of their Pixel? Somebody. Oh, Shallow, right? Shallow Unicorn. Didn't he go to an 8? He got an iPhone, didn't he?
I think.
Yeah. But he won't be there long. I can see him getting. Well, maybe.
But I think you're right, because I think he's like us. He's got to try. He's got to try the next.
Yeah.
Mike, did you see Apple? Oh my God, they are supporting. I think the 5. Is it the 5S? 6 years. They said when iOS 12 drops, it's going all the way back to the 5.
That's pretty awesome.
Yes, that's crazy.
That's crazy good.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Even though I think most of the fixes, but that's think about it. If you bought that phone brand new and you still have it, let's say you replaced your battery, you got your money's worth like 3 times.
Exactly. And that's one thing it has over Android. We think it's a big deal if we get 2 years worth of updates.
2 years? We're doing jump packs.
Yeah.
See, we got Lewis for Tech Free Needs. He says daily driver, iPhone 8 Plus, and an Apple Watch.
Yeah, you see that?
And Watch 3.
I'm coming back, Lewis. I'm coming back.
I'm just curious, is that Apple Watch, Lewis, LTE supported? I'm just curious.
The 3s are all LTE.
Oh, are they all of them? Okay. Really?
So, yeah. I'm coming back home. I'm coming back.
Even Deborah Duke says she likes the 8 Plus.
Telling you that.
I've been eyeing up. I like the idea of the iPhone that is wireless charging now, and it's waterproof.
Oh yeah,
right?
My wife uses it all the time. I got the wireless Samsung charger. She took over my charger.
How about you? Now, do you have yours? The one that you bought that day we went to the store?
Yeah, she uses that one too.
So he gets the leftover stuff, obviously.
Yeah.
She uses both of them. She took them over.
So
and she I was charging until I told her you can just drop your phone on the thing.
So we've been going an hour and a half, guys.
Have we?
Yes.
Yeah, see, he said it's LTE, Mike.
Yeah, I saw that.
Cool.
You know why you couldn't do it, Mike? Because you're like, you can't, if you do it, you can't get rid of your other phones. You have to do it and get rid of everything else so that you can't go back. If you have the option, to go back, you won't do it. You won't stay. Yeah. If you can't go back, you get used to it and you adjust.
True. It's like when I go bicycle riding, I ride purposely 8 or 9 miles from the car, so knowing that by the time I get back, I'll have my 20 miles in. Yeah. Tony Pazzo showing off daily driver, iPhone X, Apple Watch Series 1, Pixel 2 XL. That's pretty good.
Yeah, and Tony's on Project Fi. That's cool.
Okay.
That's cool. That's a great service. Let me tell you, that's a good deal there. So
Tony's getting ready for the
Emily Marie says Pixel 2 XL looks great to me, but the OnePlus 5T looks better to me. Well, Pixel 2 XL, I guess you're probably not going to beat the picture because I don't have it, but for the money, I think the iPhone and the OnePlus 5T was the best phone value of the year last year.
Yeah, we got the 6 coming. Is that the glass back on it?
They said it depends what you want. See, like me, I always try to go for updates. I want updates because I want to be able to know my phone is going to last for 2 years. Even though sometimes I don't even keep it that long. For 2 years.
Now, Mark and Kathy Douglas says, I forgot my wife's Note 5 was wireless. Glad to share my S9 charger. So see, he and his wife shared a charger nicely.
Excuse me a second, guys. 1 second. I'll be right back.
All right.
Yeah, that wireless charging. The iPhone charges slow though. It takes forever. That's what I don't like.
Now I have 2 wireless chargers. I almost never put my phones on. I just forget they're there most of the time.
Yeah. How you liking the S9, George?
I love the S9. Absolutely love it. That's what I'm sitting here watching our comments on. Yeah.
It's tough, man. It's tough to stick with Android with this messaging, man.
Well, see, for me, I have the S9, but I also have my Mate SE, and that's how I like to have the high and the good low.
Mike,
like I've got the best of both worlds.
Even Adam, I think he left the room. His wife has an iPhone, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how he does it. It's got to be hard, because
it seems like most YouTubers' wives use iPhones.
To go from having the, and then for him to have Android, I know it must have been rough when he first switched. He probably wanted to.
I was concerned about that too. That's why that's one reason I seem to ask him a lot, how you like it, because I'm waiting for that moment or like that shoe to drop because of those connectivity things, you know what I mean?
But he does seem pretty sold on Android now, since he's got the Pixel especially. And then on top of that, now his computer at home, he's doing all his stuff on a Windows unit, Yeah. And it goes back to that ecosystem that, like you were just referring to, Will. You were saying that you're suggesting for me to get rid of all my Android and go. Or not get rid of, but you know what I mean? Because I'm not going to want to go back to Android because slowly the Apple system draws you in. Yeah, but at the same time, Jay Will uses all kinds of Apple products, all the stuff he does. But at times, except for the phones, he uses all his Apple stuff and he always goes back to Android. Yes, yeah, but I'm just saying as a whole, as a utility for the family. Oh, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Yeah. Because I know if you saw Adam, he has God. I wonder what he's doing now. I know that there was a program that he had running. Maybe that's on his Apple. He has Apple TV. He has a MacBook, and he was all in with on the phone end. Even all the kids got all the old phones, all the the old Apple phones, the 5Ss. Yeah, and I know the kids are playing them off of Wi-Fi. So, yeah, and I can't argue that point, Will, that to go to Apple and there's a chance that could happen. But, us techies, I mean, look at everybody. They all carry 2 phones. Most people carry, techies carry 2 phones. One's going to be an Apple phone and one's going to be Android in this case. So,
yeah, if I was him, that would have been real hard.
Yeah, yeah. So
he was so
okay, you're back. Did you guys? You guys both froze up from here.
You left. You left.
Yes, you took.
Okay, so I think we all froze for each other. Okay.
For me to be able for him to switch like that, because even if you have a Mac, let's say if you have a Mac, your messaging, you can message from the Mac. Your web browser syncs with your Mac. You know what I mean? Your pictures go right to the Mac. Everything is so seamless to go from that, and then messaging is great for his kids. You get your read receipts. If you got a group message, you can all send large files, videos. You miss that when you go to Android. It's hard, and then the only thing that keeps me with Android, I'll say, okay, I can use Facebook Messenger to get most of the features. But does the person have Facebook Messenger? You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
Messenger, you can't use it.
And that's one reason I was glad when was it, year and a half ago, when Google updated Photos, because now, I can always depend on Google Photos. Any phone I've got, my photos are always there, and I have unlimited.
But see, Mike, that's what I think. When you tried it, I think I don't remember, but you were still using your Android phone, right?
When I had my latest Apple phone?
iPhone. I would try to message you, and sometimes you wouldn't, you know what I mean? It would be like, I don't know if you didn't get it or you wouldn't answer me right away. So I think you had your foot in both. Like you were,
yeah.
That's why you didn't like it. because you didn't, you know what I mean? You have to go, like I told you, the guy I know, he went all in, all the way, got rid of everything. He had Samsung, everything, 2 watches, the S9, the Note. He got rid of everything.
Rid of all of it. Wow. And
all the way out,
back, right?
And he's happy.
Okay.
It's just because you went halfway in, Mike. You got to try it all the way, and you just got to be like, all right, I know what I'm losing. Because honestly, I always switch. All you're really losing is the customization. That's it.
Exactly. You miss that big time when you don't have it.
You're losing the ability to be able to play around with your screen, basically being able to move everything around. But if you have enough people on iMessage, it's kind of like, and then you have to factor in everything else. You're getting 5 years or 6 years of support.
But I also think you missed something simple like the app drawer, because I don't want all of my apps on screen, but I can always go to my app drawer and they're there.
That's a part of the customization. Yeah, you lose your app drawer, but you're gaining. Not that you would use it, but I know Jay Will always talks about it. 4K at 60 with no limit. That was the other thing everybody rags on with the Samsung and mostly Android phones. You have a limit on your 4K. You know what I mean?
Well, you have a limit. You don't have a limit on 4K with all of them, I don't think.
I don't know if you guys see Donovan's in the room first off, and also I just saw Lewis 6 is here.
And Donovan saying the iPhone 8 Plus is the first iPhone I stuck with long term. Now, see, I got the 6 Plus, and I never went past that.
See, and he mentioned about I know I switched to iOS as my daily driver. Yeah, 2 devices are the iPhone 8 Plus and the S9 Plus.
Well, he's a high end all the way. I mean, best of both worlds.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's what I mean. I'm just saying what I see most tech reviewers carry.
Yeah, and Deborah Dukes is saying she loves her iPhone 8.
Yeah.
You know what? They probably carry them both because of things like, to me, that are kind of crazy. They'll be like, I was in a group text and I don't want to lose it, because if everybody has iMessage, it's just a different, you know what I mean? So you don't want to lose that. Like,
and I think a lot of YouTubers who are basically Android people keep their iPhones because there's so many people in their family that use iPhones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Tony Pazzo says, sometimes I think every YouTuber has an iPhone and they just review Android phones because many OEMs run Android and only one iOS. And that's what I'm trying to say nicely. I just think of the bigger YouTubers. They always, I think somebody did they were all the YouTubers are in the room and
what
was that guy?
But I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he went around the room. They were all there for a convention, and MKBHD, and I'm trying to think of somebody else. They all had 2 phones, but everybody else had an iPhone with them.
Probably Jonathan Morrison was there.
Yeah, because
average consumer was probably there.
Because Mike, what would be the point if you think about it? What would be the point of having 2 Android phones?
What's the point? Because I carry 2. I'm weird like that. Okay.
I carry 2 Android phones all the time.
No, I mean, what are you getting different? Like, you're getting the same thing again, just with a different phone number.
Right.
That's true. But I find since I got carrying 2 Android phones, it's over a year now, I often, like on my job, because I drive for Enterprise. Well, sometimes I have to go to an app. Well, I'm navigating on one. Well, I can still do all kinds of stuff on the other, and I do that all the time.
But what I'm saying is, if I'm a YouTuber, all right, if I can choose, let's say, a Pixel or a Galaxy S9, right?
Right.
The top of the thing. If I choose a Pixel, Galaxy S9, and I'm like, okay, I need one more phone. If I'm on Android, I can pretty much make my Galaxy S9 like any other Android phone out there.
Except as a YouTuber, you're going to say,
No, I'm not.
I've got the phone with the best cameras. I think I should try the other phone with the best cameras.
I'm not saying to review it. I'm saying if I'm carrying my two phones, like everybody says, my two daily drivers.
Right.
I have no read receipts, terrible messaging over here, and then I got the best messaging system I can get.
But listen to what you're saying. You're talking like a longtime iPhone user, which you are. Well, Mike and I are not, so we're not really missing what we never had.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Why? Okay, you're not missing what you never had, but why would I have two phones with the same experience? Facebook here, Facebook here, messaging terrible here. You know what I mean? No, George, not what they're reviewing, what they're having for them to use. Forget about reviewing it. They're saying, like the people in the room are saying, Tony or whoever it was who said they had an iPhone X and a Pixel 2 or whatever. They're saying these are the phones that I use every day.
Yeah, but I think you're missing the point. Part of so many YouTubers, especially Android guys, having two different phones is one of those phones they're carrying is constantly being reviewed. I am still reviewing.
No, look at
Mate.
Look in the I don't even know what the room went. My chat thing. The one guy said he had an iPhone X and a Pixel. Those were his daily drivers. Not
that was Tony, I think.
Just like MKBHD. If you ask him what he has, he's like, I got an iPhone X and a Pixel 2. That's what he's using every day.
Right. And I guarantee you 2 months later, he's either going to say, I have the iPhone X and something else or Pixel 2 and something else.
You're never going to hear him say, listen, you'll never hear him say, George, I got a Pixel 2 and a 9, and I leave the iPhone at home. Never. Because he wants iMessage and he wants Android. But he's always want.
But all I'm saying is the reason for carrying two phones is pretty much the same for all the YouTubers. They're always carrying one they're reviewing. And then they go on to the next one they're reviewing. And that's normal for YouTube.
All right. All I know is for me personally, and I didn't give the iPhone SE a fair shake because I was running into certain situations. And what it came down to was that phone I had was a AT&T only phone, and I couldn't find anybody. Well, I tried to look, but I probably could dig deeper to unlock the phone so I can use it on my primary carrier. I moved my channel number from AT&T to T-Mobile, and I still want to learn the understand everything about Apple.
Donovan says it was Lou from Unbox Therapy that went around.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Everybody. One thing I would suggest, I'm thinking it's what you should do. I don't think you should go with the lowest end iPhone. Like when I got my iPhone and I kept it for 6 months, I went for the newest iPhone that was out.
I'm not buying a $1,000 phone. Okay. I ain't buying a $1,000 phone. No, that's ludicrous.
I had this conversation before. I told him when he bought that phone, I said, you bought the worst iPhone that you could get, the smallest screen.
It was a steal. And I got my money. That's another one I got my money back on.
That's because it's Apple. But I'm saying, Mike, go find me a buy one, get one, and we'll do it.
I'll be calling you later.
All right, go find me one, and we'll do it. George,
yeah, if you're okay. I'm looking at Tony here. Tony's saying he wouldn't recommend it.
We were totally gone from YouTube for a few seconds.
No, you were gone. At least you were.
No, everything was gone for a few seconds.
Really?
Because when you saw me frozen, I saw both of you frozen. And then
I didn't see you frozen. You keep leaving.
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me.
He was just leaving. All right,
Tony's telling me to get an iPhone X. I refuse to spend $1,000 on a phone.
Tony, I'm going back tomorrow. I'm trying to take Mike with us and pull him up out of the sunken place. He don't want to come.
Guys, I'm thinking we need to end this because it's the third time it's happened that it froze up.
All right. I guess we ran out of quarters to put in the slot machine, right?
I guess, yeah.
What is the chat saying? The one guy said he left He left Android a year and 5 months ago for the first time. He's been with Android. Just trying to see all the things. Mike, where were you at? I'm trying to figure out where you were at when you were reading. Lou from Unbox Therapy, 2 different ecosystems. iPhone SE is not a phone I would recommend. Yeah, that's what I was telling you, Mike.
That's what I was trying to say too. I think you should try a better iPhone. Yeah.
I'm really kicking the can around on the iPhone 8.
Yeah, I'm thinking you're going to get a much fairer view of things with a good iPhone as opposed to an SE. That's just my opinion.
Like, listen, if you got an upgrade, we buy the one, I'll pay it off, and then the other one you get for bill credits.
Mr. Deal is still talking to you.
Giving you a sweet deal. A sweet deal.
Wait. You which one would you? I don't want the. I'm not a big fan of the X.
Yeah,
I don't want the gestures and all that. I like the button. I like the button. Yeah, I like the 8.
Is find the buy one get one. I'll buy the X. You just got to get it unlocked for me, and then you get the bill credits for the other one. Because I'm not staying mobile. I'll just unlock it and take it.
All right, guys. If we get killed off again, I'm going to end it because
well,
I get the impression it's going to keep happening.
Is Deborah saying, well, it's been fun. I miss my regular tech crew.
Well, thank you, Deborah. I hope she means us.
Is Alan Anthony streaming tonight too?
Yes, he's streaming at 10 o'clock. He's only less than 10 minutes away now.
Okay. All right.
That's what you do, Mike. Let me know.
I'll be talking to you.
All right, guys.
All right, let's get out of here before we get in more trouble.
Thanks everybody that tuned in. Thanks for sticking with us, for listening to us. Deborah, thank you for staying all this time, and Tony, thank you.
Adam will kill you.
That's what I was thinking. Adam's going to pitch a fit.
Yeah.
Anyway, I want to say good night, folks. We'll say good night.
All right, y'all. Good night.
All right, Mike, give your spiel.
Hey, hi. My name's Mike Dixon. This is Simply Your Device.
Oh, yeah,
What's that?
I said formerly of the Pixel Brothers.
You're not supposed to interrupt his spiel.
Oh, no, I can't. I'm Mike Dixon. This is Simply Your Device. You like today's video, give it a thumbs up. You don't like today's video, do not give it a thumbs down. Tell me why in the comments below as I go to mobile and get my iPhone. Go, George.
I am Mobile Geezer, George Hayes. You'll find me on everywhere, Twitter, Facebook, Google+, Instagram, Mobile Geezer. And thanks for watching. And we do this every Friday. Mike and I alternate. So next Friday, it'll be 8 o'clock, Simply Your Device. And Will and Mike and I will all be here. Thanks once again for watching. We'll see you next time.
All right.